from the Post-Millennial. Quote, I will cripple you. Longshoreman Union President warns America as dock workers' strike takes hold of ports nationwide. They don't care. It's not fair. And if we don't put our foot down now, they would like to run over us, and we're not going to allow that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
International Longshoremen Association President Harold Daggett said the strike his union launched on Tuesday would cripple America. Quote, I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means, Daggett said. In a news scrum, Daggett said the issue for workers is protection against automation, which he says is currently not strong enough because what happens is they come in with new technology. We just caught them in Mobile, Alabama, called Autogate. And that means the trucks are coming in and they're already checked in somewhere else and not using the checkers in the ILA to circumvent the contract. They don't care. They don't care. It's not fair. And if we don't put our foot down now, they would like to run us over. We're not going to allow that. Washington put so much pressure on port authorities that they will cave to union demands. Cars won't come in, food won't come in, clothing won't come in. You know how many people depend on our jobs? Half the world.
Yeah.
And you want an October surprise. How about them?
Boom.
October
I mean,
surprises.
it's important to note that this is happening during a Democratic presidency, and Democrats are supposed to be the party of the workers.
Well,
Yeah, and they're not
Biden was the
anymore.
first one to go stand on a picket line, right? So he's theoretically, of all of the Democrats, the most pro-union, most working man of them all. I've read the number that this will cost America something like $4 billion a day. I don't know if that's totally true. But it is fascinating to me because I actually think automation is one of the growing threats to American workers. I'm not trying to be a tech phobe, but like this is the reality, right? There are people whose jobs will be automated away. The other part that I know about this is that it's the East Coast longshoremen, because one of the things that they had asked was that their salaries be matched to the West Coast longshoremen. West Coast longshoremen, I assume, are dealing with a lot of shipments from China. And
Right.
so there is a huge industry there.
I just want to say, like, I don't know anything about this Daggett guy, but after just reading that quote, I will cripple you and you have no idea what that means, I'm just like, based.
Well, do you want to see the movie of this and who
I want-
plays him?
Well,
Yeah.
that's right.
That's the kind of thing I want to see Trump do. You know, that's what he does. That's what we like about him.
yeah, the unions were historically Democrat, right? But they refused to endorse the Democrat president recently because their own members were not voting Democrat.
Yeah, the Teamsters.
which is amazing, unprecedented.
Yeah.
What is their argument for how they're going to win without the Teamsters, without union workers, with an economic crisis, the docks shutting down a month out from the election, Israel being bombed, a hurricane disaster zone they are ignoring? I do not understand. Look,
You're just missing
let's
the
ignore
vibe.
all of
That's
this.
an easy
Let's-
question to answer.
You're missing the vibe.
I understand. I
Yeah, just
understand.
read the
Mail-in-
polls, bro.
mail-in
I get it. I get it. Kamala
ballots.
Harris skipped that dinner. What was it? Was it Al
Al
Smith,
Smith.
dinner?
Yeah.
And they say in the press the last time this happened was Mondale. The last person to do that was Mondale.
Oh, that didn't work out so great for
No,
him.
he won one
Bad
state.
omen.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
That would be
I
bad.
don't see that happening.
I don't know how you can say we don't have an economic crisis when the pro-union president now has to deal with what, the fourth or fifth major union strike of his presidency. If the workers are this unhappy, clearly the
said.
economy must
Well,
be
and
bad.
they keep saying, like the White House keeps saying about this one, that they're not going to invoke the Taft-Hartley Act to, basically bust the strike. So that means somebody's going to have to go in there and negotiate. And every day that goes by is going to be months of recovery. I mean, it's just going to take that much longer. And we saw what the supply chain crisis was like during COVID. It was really bad. There were runs on toilet paper and everything. I mean, it was absolutely out of control.
You're saying we should stock up?
I'm not going
Yes.
to
Yeah, but
I'm not
look,
gonna
if
do
the
that.
workers aren't
Tim's
going to
the
vote
prepper, but-
Democrat, they have an easy answer to that. It's called mail-in ballots.
Yep.
But for sure, we called it the shadow campaign.
There's
right?
way less
Right.
mail-in
Well, but,
balloting this election than
TP
before.
Action is doing a great job.
They are
of
doing good,
on the
yeah.
Republican side. Scott Pressler.
You know, it kind of just clicked for me, actually, Tim, when you asked that. I think there might be a very strong case to be made that they're actually aware that Trump is going to win. And what they're doing is they're getting World War III started, so he has to deal with that. They just started cutting rates in the economy, so there will be a crazy crash recession thing. It's like that just always will follow what we're doing there in the economy. So it looks more like what might be happening is they're setting up the worst possible administration for him to deal with, so they can run their media wheels on him again and divide the nation further and try to do a rerun of his first presidency and hopefully then capitalize on that division after that.
I agree. I think the escalations in the Middle East and Ukraine may be intentional because they want Trump to inherit a war that he cannot get out of. They want Trump to inherit an economy where they can say, we warned you. I take a look at Afghanistan and simply it makes no sense. There's literally no reason to abandon Bagram Air Force Base in your withdrawal. Yep. They could have handled all their evacuations through Bagram. Then once they got their evacuations out, the interpreters, the U.S. men and women could be circling around Bagram and then evacuate and leave a small contingent in to maintain air logistics and support so the Taliban doesn't overrun everything. Instead, they abandoned Bagram in the middle of the night without telling anybody. Locals just started looting and raiding the Air Force base for whatever they could. Makes no sense. They tried doing evacuations in this urban center. Chaos. A bomb goes off. They said that there were pilots in the Afghan security forces who were landing and just abandoning their helicopters because there was no logistics, no radio support anymore. That sounds like it was on purpose. Yeah. And I don't know if it was, but the theory that goes around online is that they wanted to punish the Trump administration and the American people for abandoning this project, that they were going to try and make an example where they can say, see, we can't just leave because we don't want Afghanistan again. I'm sure they'll say something very similar with Israel or Ukraine or Taiwan.
Sure.
Ukraine. Oh, no. But if we leave Ukraine, look what happened to Afghanistan. I think it's on purpose. Now I look at what's going on now, and I'm wondering if it's similar, where they're going to say, okay, we're going to lose this one. Let's make sure Trump inherits a steaming pile of crap of an economy and war, and then we can blame him for it, go to the American people and say, see, we told you so.
Yeah, but I mean, even if they blame him for it, he's going to get it fixed up, and then J.D. Vance is going to be like, hey, look at me. I'm ready for another 8 years.
I think he's more ready to fix it up than they give him credit for. Like, I think that Trump actually is well established to solve this crisis in the Middle East.
And I think he's finally got a good team around him, too.
Exactly.
Well, they did that to Trump with the China virus stuff, where he was leaving and they're like, hey, you had a crappy economy and now we made it great just because we have jobs coming back. In this situation, it's like he's coming in the beginning, so he can actually fix it instead of on his way out, they make a problem.
You know, there's another key factor here that's different this time, and that's X. Last time, 100%. We had no true free speech platform in order to counter the narrative. And they had all the censorship locked down.
The FBI worked with
so that
Twitter
division, exactly, that division was powerful. And we saw it as soon as Biden took office, just the insanity of the left versus the right and the different sets of facts they're all living in. But even today, the mainstream media is having to report on X's reporting because X is reporting the truth before anyone else can cover the stories. And so when you have that fundamental free speech dynamic overlaying them trying to smear Trump throughout a 4 years of him fixing all these problems that they created, that might be actually like they might be setting themselves up for a serious failure that they have not foreseen.
And, you know, with X changing like that and Elon Musk taking a stand like that, we even saw over the summer Mark Zuckerberg kind of like backing off his previous thing. He said that he wasn't going to be giving a ton of money to any political campaign, specifically Democrats, who he gave a ton of money to last time. He called Trump after the assassination attempt and said he was, you know, and then in an interview said that he was badass for doing that. He brought on a Republican, for fight. He brought on a Republican strategist, and he said that he was more libertarian
Well, yeah,
than
and
anything
let's
else.
be clear. Zuckerberg should still go on trial.
Sure, it
But
could
you're
all be
right.
Totally
It
fake,
is sick.
But like to have Elon Musk stand up and take all those slings and arrows, it made it so that Zuckerberg could in the background be like, "Oh, hey everybody, hey, what's going on?"
Not just that,
Or
but
at least
I-
to
well,
look at
no,
it
but
and
I heard
say
that-
becoming libertarian is the right thing to do. People respond to that.
I heard
better.
Zuckerberg is becoming more masculine. He's training MMA.
Exactly.
He's becoming one of the boys, and so now his
He got a
opinion's
tan?
changed.
Right?
Yeah,
His hair
he's a
out?
little more muscular.
Yep.
You get mocked for your
Here's what I
surfing
think.
photo one time.
I see two things. I genuinely think Zuckerberg saw himself in the memes where he had the weird short hair, pale, and he looked like an android.
A robot. Yeah.
And he probably was embarrassed, and he was like, "That's what people think of me." Like,
Nobody wants to be that guy.
so now look, he looks like a surfer dude.
Yeah.
Grow a little facial hair, let his hair grow out.
Much better look.
Living in Hawaii, got a little tan.
And you start exercising, you naturally become more conservative.
There you
It just
go.
always
is that?
happens.
Why do you think that is?
MMA.
What's that about?
Testosterone.
Well, also it's
You have
that
to
you
earn
start
your place.
earning. Like the thing about fitness that's interesting is that you cannot you have to earn it. Even if you cheat with the cheats, you still have to earn it. And people like they inherit. You don't always necessarily become full conservative, but every time someone that's never exercised or worked out or felt strong in any way, like that, like the Democrat Party lives on the handout mindset, right? And the moment you start giving yourself the handouts, it's like, wait a minute, like what are we doing?
Yeah,
over
like,
here?
It's
Makes sense.
really simple. Meritocracy versus communism, right? You're somebody who feels the burn every day and you struggle and you're trying to achieve something and then you get there and now you're fit and you've got muscles and then they say you have privilege. You have thin privilege. You're getting these things because they're being gifted to you. And you're like, you don't have any idea how hard it was to, like, you guys eat donuts and Twinkies and Ho-Hos and lay on the couch all day. It's so easy. And I break myself every day to be the best version of myself. That's when people are like, I shouldn't pay taxes.
I encourage.
I'm paying taxes for their
feel
health
that-
care.
I feel
I
that
encourage
you said
everyone.
it, not me.
I did
I don't
judo.
wanna
I did
pay
judo off and on for 9 years, and you get your ass kicked at first by even small guys.
Yeah.
And you build your way up, and so yeah, you're like, I earned this. I
Yeah.
belong here, and so I encourage everyone in your audience to do some kind of martial arts, even at the basic level, because you will learn what it means to earn your keep.
Absolutely, and this is a big component of it. Imagine doing that exercise and then having to pay the medical bills of people who won't.
Bingo.
And this is a big shift for a lot of people because, you know, I've known people who have been unhealthy and they're like, I had to turn things around. I had to cut this out. I started exercising. I feel great. And then I realized when they say universal health care, they're basically saying, I don't want to do any work. I want your money and your labor to pay for my lifestyle.
I feel so strongly
Yeah,
about
I
that
hate that.
statement. I've not been to the doctor in 10 years. For
I
any
hate going to the doctor.
yeah, like
Knock on wood, because like if you just fell over
Yeah,
right
I
now.
know, right? Yeah. Hi CIA.
You have liquid death right there. So
And so it and like the amount of money that is going to healthcare is insane, and that is all coming from the sicknesses that are funded or that are being created by what Maha movement is speaking out about, by all of these poisons in our food, like all of the diabetes in our world right now. It's like it's crazy that the Trump, MAGA, and Maha movement is speaking out about that health issue that is directly what we're talking about here of like, why are we paying for all that?
Bro, I am
sickness?
Maha all the way, dude.
All the way.
I
It's
have
the most
never,
important
I have
thing, dude.
never been like MAGA makes me chuckle, and I'm like, I get it. You know, I
Yeah.
love America, but I see Maha and I feel that energy.
Oh, I
feel that
rocked the
optimism.
Maha hat. I
it's
was on
so
the Maha
key.
bus.
Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe, and we'll see you all there.